everyone, and welcome to Topic Time with Harrison Young from the Emerson Shoe Loft in Rockland, Massachusetts. Yeah, we're going all over the place, and I have an awesome guest for you tonight. Before we get to him, got to read these great underwriters, and then we will commence per usual. So, we got Carver Jewels Incorporated, Ronald R. and Lyle Delano Goldsmiths in Carver. We got Pacini's Pizza in Middleborough, they deliver. We got a new one, Pembroke Computer LLC in Pembroke. We got Barnacote Monuments in Middleborough. We got Crazy Axes Recreation Center in Hanover. We got Hairway to Heaven, All Family Hairstylist in Norwell. We got a new one, Psychic Stephanie, a new one, Psychic Stephanie in Pembroke. We got Vape Solutions in East Bridgewater. We got Salon Giovanni in Marshfield. We got Pembroke Radiator LLC in Pembroke. We got the Cornerstone Barbershop in Pembroke. We got another new one, Callahan Auto Sales and Detailing in Pembroke. We got another new one, Rooster's Family Kitchen, a restaurant in Marshfield. We got New England Floorscapes in Middleborough. We got the Granite Guys in Halifax. We got Genuine's Inspection in Middleborough. We got Pro Tin Window Tinting in Abington. Shout out to you, Kenny. We got Bryant's Auto and Tire Service in Middleborough. We got the Gun Runner LLC in Middleborough, dedicated to your Second Amendment rights. And we got DNS Auto Works right up the road on Route 58 in Abington. I want to thank you guys very much. And on that note, I will now introduce Mr. Christopher Alexander right here. He's an actor. He looks like he's in pretty good shape. Looks like he takes care of himself. Buff guy, and we're going to interview him tonight. We're going to find out how he got into acting, and we're going to look at a little reel about halfway through the show. So, Chris, I want to thank you for coming down here in the rain, and we're going to sun it right up in spite of the rain.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Harrison. Thanks for having me on.
All right. Well, now I just found you on Facebook about a week ago. I think I've interviewed some people that you know, friends of yours, and that have been in the acting world.
Yes, you have.
Okay. But now we're profiling you. So what I do with every guest is I try to find out what they were like growing up as kids, where they grew up, and how it got to them where they are now. So tell me about that. Where did you grow up? I assume it was in the area, and how did you get to where you're at now? What did you aspire to as a kid? And if I have any questions pertaining to that, I'll fire it right at you, even though we're at point blank range. So go ahead.
Excellent. Well, I would say that I didn't really grow up until I was about 30.
Okay.
So,
you don't look much past that now.
No. Well, I'm actually 50.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, wow, good for you. Great shape.
Getting old. Well, I try. I work hard at it.
Yeah, same here.
But grew up from Boston to Barnstable is what I tell people.
Okay.
So,
B to B.
Came from that upper middle white trash family. Everybody separated, moved around a lot.
All right.
Made a lot of good mentors growing up, a lot of the bad mentors growing up.
Yep.
And, but I finally figured it out. And through that, family, got 4 beautiful children.
Wow.
My life is normal. 2 of them are mad at me now. They don't talk to me. I'm a very real person.
That's real, all right.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's nothing uncommon anymore.
No, but we'll, we correct those situations as we go along. And,
okay.
I am a perfectly imperfect human being, but I enjoy what I do.
Yep.
And in spite of everything I've been through growing up, I've come out the other end, and I'm a very blessed individual, and I'm happy in my life, take good care of myself, like you said, and
yep.
It's a blessing to just even get a little dabble of working in the film industry.
Okay, a little dabble. All right, well, but as a kid, did you do anything in acting then, or what did you? All right, let me see if we can break it down a little further.
Sure.
I know I asked about your childhood. Did you do anything in sports as a kid? Did you do anything in entertainment or anything?
I did.
What did you do?
I boxed a lot,
Okay.
martial arts.
Yeah, you look like you're a martial arts type.
And I also played hockey.
Okay.
A lot of pickup sports in the inner city, and so. As far as acting, really no. A lot of break dancing.
Okay.
Always had a love of music, had a love of comedy, stand-up.
New Kids
comedy.
on the Block? I don't know, whenever I hear breakdancing, I think of them, because they were
around at the same time,
Right,
and they
exactly.
were certainly from the Dorchester area. And,
Exactly.
I danced to their music as well.
Yep, okay.
So musical genre, I'm very diverse.
Okay, cool, all right. All right, now let's find out how you got into acting. So how did that come to pass?
A friend of mine from the gym called me up and said, "Hey, you want to be on a Mark Wahlberg film?" And this was about a little over 3 years ago, and I was like, "Absolutely, doing what?" And he's like, "You're just going to do some stand-in, and maybe they'll have you do like a fight scene or some stunts." He's like, "They'll walk you through it. Just take this call from this agency." And hashtag Boston Casting reached out to me, and next thing I knew, I did 32 days on that film set.
Wow.
3 days into it, I came in and everybody started applauding, and I had no idea why. And they're like, "Congratulations, you're eligible to join SAG." And honestly, I didn't even know what SAG was at the time. I had to look it up, but right away, I did join SAG. I found out it's somewhat a very small network in the film industry. Many of them were going out to New York, and they're like, you should go out, and here's the agencies you should sign up with. And
All right, let's back up for a second. First of all, tell me who your friend at the gym was. He sounds kind of special in his own right.
I don't know if he wants to.
How was he able to connect you with a Wahlberg film?
I'm not going to give any
All right, if you can't give too
specific
much
shout out
information
there.
away, that's fine.
No, that's okay. But I don't want to give a shout out there. But what I do want to do is it happened. I went on. I ended up doing stand-in for James Dumont. I did photo double work for Alan Arkin. I did stand-in work and set utility for Michael Gaston as well.
Okay.
And it was a lot of fun. 32 days on that film set. That was Spencer Confidential.
Oh, okay.
Was the film. At the time it was being filmed, it was called Wonderland.
Okay, and where they filmed it all in the Boston area?
It was all around Boston. Most of it took place at the old Raynham Taunton dog track.
Oh, no kidding. Okay,
Yeah.
one of my old haunts. I used to do a show in Raynham.
Right, and
there.
much of it was also in South Boston,
Okay.
through the city, and so it was a lot of fun. It was an experience. Most of it was behind the camera. It wasn't really in front of the camera.
Yeah, but were you visible in the film?
So that's the funny thing is, so I thought I would be at the end of the film. They probably spent a couple $1 million with helicopter shoots, and they put me in as an FBI agent, and I was driving my own truck. I was very excited. I was telling people I was going to be in it, and then at the end of it, nobody saw me. All those days on set.
Yeah.
But I really wasn't disappointed. It was a launch into the career path. I made a lot of great friends, and a lot of exposure to the film industry. I found being behind the camera very interesting, and quite honestly, I still enjoy it a lot, being behind the camera instead of in front of it.
Well, saying behind the camera, you mean you worked in the production end of it?
Right, so stand-in, set utility, sometimes it's, they're setting up the lights and the action around you. You get to rehearse the lines often and walk through the same scenario as the actors. And when the actors come in, you give them their standing points and sometimes even the instruction of what got figured out while they were backstage rehearsing their lines. And then a lot of it, if it's some of the combat scenes, you walk them through that. I've gotten to do some precision driving as well on set. It's very interesting.
Oh, interesting. I'm looking at you when I'm seeing stunt guy. Nothing like that?
So I aspire to do that, and I have gotten some stunt roles.
Okay, but not in Spencer.
But nothing jumping out of a building. In Spencer Confidential, they had my head in a manicure bath for James Dumont. They were setting up the camera.
A manicure bath? What's that? You mean like a
So that was the
headlock?
first time. So it was a manicure bath where Mark Wahlberg puts Tracksuit Charlie is the character, James Dumont, head into the manicure bath.
What is a manicure bath?
It's like for pedicure, actually.
Really?
I apologize. Yeah, and he shoves his head into it.
Oh, okay.
And they set the camera up on a platform. It was a pedicure tub, and it had a clear plastic bottom.
Okay.
And they had to fill it with water and test the camera, and they were dunking my head in it. And
you worked directly with Wahlberg doing this?
I did not. No,
Okay.
No, it was another stunt person
All right.
came in and did that. And then in the final scenes, you can always tell when it's a stunt in the movie because you're looking at the back of their heads.
Right.
And then it's only when the stunt is coming over, the camera will pan around, you'll see the actual actor turn. Part of it almost ruins the way I watch a movie now because I've seen so much and how it gets done. It's now how I tell a good movie from a bad movie. If the movie grasps me so much that I'm not paying attention to how it's done or what's happening in the background.
That's the goal of the people producing it and directing it, I guess.
That's right.
Okay, well, tell me about some of the work you did do in front of the camera.
Okay, so in front of the camera, when I went out to New York, my first day registering, that night they were like, hey, you want to work on Blue Bloods? And,
Okay.
So that was only the second shoot I did, and it was just background work at the time. And then I was taking a lot of background work because I was just hungry and curious to learn about the industry. And so at that time, I ended up doing Blue Bloods. I did another film called Nosferatu that was filmed over in Rhode Island. I also worked on, The Society. There's so many different films I worked on as background. And then I started getting into day player roles. I went out to New York. I was on the set of Law and Order. And they bumped me up to a day player as Joe the bartender. You'll see that in the clip.
Cool.
I worked on another film called 911 where that was about a kidnap a little girl. And it was about sex trafficking. So I found that I tend to be typecast now. I get cast as either a prisoner and/or I get typecast as a police officer or undercover detective. I get to work on Lincoln Rhyme as an undercover detective. That was very fun. That was a pilot episode with Michael Imperioli from Sopranos.
All right. Wow.
And so that was probably about a year into it when I got selected for that one. And that was a lot of fun because we were running down New York streets playing cops and robbers. I was dressed up with a cop and a gun and chasing people and kicking down doors and jumping on New York rooftops. And
Well, that was, you weren't actually doing that, were you?
I was, yes.
Well, what streets of New York would they allow you to do that?
That was over
Or
in
they
the
just
village
do it
with,
anyway?
with all the water towers, but they just close it all down, and New York pedestrians are used to it. They just walk by
Okay.
the set, and they really pay no attention to what's going on.
Okay, I thought that was LA, but I guess New York too.
No, New York's a very big market, and even Boston's becoming
Yeah,
big
I
right
know
now.
Boston has.
Well, now that they've waived the sunset provision on the film tax credits, we're seeing an influx of movies coming into the Boston area and television series.
So have you worked in LA too?
I only went out to LA once. I was on a film that's actually coming out on the 13th as its premiere launch.
13th of November?
Yes, of this
Okay.
year. Well, they actually just invited me out to the red carpet opening. That's November 13th of this year.
Okay.
That film is called Never Forgotten.
Okay.
And I was a guard green in that. Again, I was a crooked guard. I don't want to give away the story, but
Okay.
that was also another speaking role that I got. And,
Okay.
that was fun as well. I had some self-performed stunts in with my role.
Wow, okay, so you really did do stunts. Have you ever gone to school for stunting or done anything? Do you do
did.
martial arts at all? For
Not
real?
any longer, no. The last time I competed was about 5 years ago. I injured my calf. I mean, I still train and
Okay.
I do a lot of the motions, but I don't compete any longer.
Okay, do you have like a black belt in karate or anything? or-
I do not, no.
Okay,
No,
you just,
I don't.
but
I
you did,
don't.
did you do it like you did do it competitively?
I
though?
did, yes.
Okay.
I used to compete in the open forums and tournaments, and used to box as a kid. Out of the police athletic league and the gyms around Boston, and it was a very fun upbringing. It's a blessing.
Oh, it is, absolutely. Okay, and it also helps with your film acting as well.
I didn't know that then, but yes, absolutely.
Of course it does. I mean,
But that's all staged. It doesn't happen. A lot of it happens in very slow motion.
Of course.
So it's interesting to see how the stunts are really done.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. So how many projects would you say you've done altogether, or ballpark it if you're not sure?
I'd
Now,
say
we're talking going back 3 years, you said, right?
Yeah.
That's 3 years ago when you got to do the Wahlberg
a
film.
couple dozen.
Wow, okay,
Yeah,
wow.
A couple dozen, and probably out of those, 5 of those have been either speaking roles, and maybe 4 of them have been stunt contracts.
Okay. Are you currently working on something today?
Well, there's another one that's getting released right now called Call End.
Okay.
That's brings focus to racial profiling.
Yeah.
I play a racist police officer targeting a young African American man.
Wow,
And
okay.
so that film just got finished shooting about 2 weeks ago, and that was over in New York and New Jersey.
Wow, so you've really been covering a lot of turf lately.
I have. I look at it as a paid hobby. I have a full-time career. I work in the building materials industry as a consultant
Okay.
for large construction projects. I don't believe that film for me, I don't believe that I have the talent of Ryan Reynolds or Mark Wahlberg. I think I'm a very good day player, a very good stunt player.
Okay.
To get on set. And so I somewhat pick and choose, and sometimes I'll audition for roles that are being filmed in a location that I want to visit. Like recently, I did one that was happening out in Monterey, out in California, because I want to go visit the vineyards. And I figure, well, if I get selected, I can go out, do the film shoot, spend a couple extra days out there.
Okay. You're talking obviously Northern California.
That's correct.
Well, so you went out there too.
Well, I didn't go. I just auditioned for it. So
Well, did you
waiting to
audition
hear.
here and then you? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
yeah. So most of the auditions now are done self-tape through EcoCast, or you submit through many different platforms that they have for film. And
Okay. Well, guess what? We're about halfway through the show. We're going to watch a little clip of Chris's work, and we'll be right back and to talk about it.
excellent.
Wow.
Hey kid, stop right there.
Joe, please. Can you turn this down?
You can turn on a dime. Goodbye.
Play real cool and quiet. Hands in pockets. No eye contact. Never said yes to a favor. But what I did do.
White girl. 14. Then that cute little thing. Perfect for the market. Done.
Wow, that was great. Tell me what we just watched.
All right, so first you watched just live action that was done from my cell phone of me playing the white supremacist cop, if you will,
Okay.
in Call End. And then you watched a couple of clips from Law and Order, and that's where I was Joe the bartender.
Okay.
And that was a great day player bump for me. Then we also watched Free Guy, a couple clips of me walking in the background. That was all filmed in Boston. That was the Ryan Reynolds film that
Okay.
was just released. Definitely a blockbuster film, a gift to work with such talented people. And in that one, I was an NPC character, and about 27 days on set as they closed down the financial district of Boston, just walking around. And at the end of the movie, I got to hug Phyllis the cat lady, and it was a very close-up version, but no speaking role. That was, but just a really fun film to be background on. Followed by that, there's another film coming out, being launched on Thanksgiving with Halle Berry, where I was a Russian gangster.
Wow. Well, you
Again,
guys, these were speaking roles, right?
so that was a stunt contract as well. And again, so I'm somewhat reluctant to tell people
Okay.
what I'm in before it's released, because you never know what they're going to edit and how you're going to get edited out. In that one, I was very surprised to find that I made the trailer. That was a stunt contract. The stunt was very simple,
Okay.
where it was a fight scene and I was just holding back one of the fighters. You'd be surprised what they consider a fight scene. Another clip in there was The Politician, where I played a prisoner, and the stunt scene, believe it or not, was rock, paper, scissors, but it was called Rochambeau.
Okay.
And it was how prisoners settle disputes in jail by playing rock, paper, scissors. And so my stunt contract consisted that day of practicing synchronized Rochambeau.
Okay.
So-
Rochambeau is French for rock, paper, scissors, right?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
And the only other stunt in that was I pushed the other prisoner against the cell, and that was it. But it was a great experience. I've learned so much. In
And where did you
3
do
years.
these prison scenes?
That was in New York at an actual prison, but it was an old prison that was shut
Yeah,
down,
yeah,
and now it
okay.
just gets used for film
Films
sets.
and stuff. Yeah. Okay. That's cool. Have you ever done? Have you ever aside? I mean, the dancing. Has the dancing ever gotten you anything in film? Have you ever done anything musical? And have you,
I have not. Would I?
Okay.
Yes, I still love to dance. I have a girlfriend. We go out dancing all the time.
Oh, good,
We were
okay.
down in Nashville
Wow.
2 weeks ago, and had nothing to do with film, but I'd never
Right.
been. She'd never been, and
Okay.
we tore up every dance floor in Nashville for about 3 days straight.
Wow, that's incredible. Have you ever written anything or tried to? You know, in terms of like a script or anything that you might want
It's
to.
just comedy. It's
Oh,
just
tell me
comedy.
about the comedy.
Well, the stand-up comedy is just something I've always loved and something I've always
have you
thought
done
I
it?
could do. So I took some classes, and so I was supposed to go live on stage when COVID hit.
Yeah, yeah,
And
wow.
so it's retracted since then. I've made some clips. I've added some comedy to my repertoire, if you will. But most of it, I will tell you, is X-rated comedy. But most of it
Like Sarah Silverman?
comes from my own life. I don't know if I'm quite that bad, but
You know who she is, don't you?
I do.
She's my cousin.
Really, I did not know that.
Yeah, well, now you do. I love bringing that up.
Small world.
Yeah, I know.
I don't know her though.
Okay, I know. I'm sure you don't. Oh, yeah, well, but you did. So you did some stand up at like open mics.
I have not yet.
Yeah.
I was supposed to.
Oh, you haven't, right,
So
all
I
COVID,
just
right.
started. So it was the film industry that inspired me, or had me believe that I could do this as well. I know
Okay.
I felt comfortable in front of the camera to do it, and comfortable enough in my own skin that I could laugh about some of the old tragedies in my life and poke and make fun of myself, and
Okay.
and that's mostly what it is.
It is, right. No, if you can do that, I mean, if you can laugh at yourself, you can laugh at anything.
That's how
You're
I
never
look
going to
at
be
it.
sad.
That's how I look at it.
Exactly, okay. All right, well, going forward, what do you got? What do you got on the horizon? How do you? All right, you remember obviously Boston Casting. You're on their mailing list. I guess they contact you. Do they contact you regularly by email?
Right, it's through email.
Yeah,
and
because I'm on the mailing list too.
Right, so they'll send out notices of different things. I recently did some background on I Want to Dance with Somebody as a Whitney Houston film. I was
Oh, no kidding.
Desert Storm
About
trooper.
Whitney Houston?
Yes.
She's been deceased for 9 years. So
Yes.
so this was a story about Whitney Houston, and you
It
just
is.
said, wow, that's
and
pretty
that's
good.
being filmed out all in the Marina Bay area,
Cool.
Quincy, and they're probably getting ready to wrap up. There's been some other inquiries, but mostly Boston Casting, Backstage,
Yep.
Actors Access, Long to Central Casting, Grant Wilfie Casting. So
Yeah, I've gotten a couple of roles from Grant Wolf. Well, I was in Shutter Island. I was a mental patient, a role I was born to play.
yeah, that was a great movie.
It was.
Now I'm going to have to watch and see if I can see you.
I'm just barely visible. I did the yard scene for about 7 hours. I did 2 scenes. One in the winter when we were inside the mental hospital and it was freezing, and they had me handcuffed in foot shackles and handcuffs, and they led me across the floor. And I worked with a girl that knew Sarah out in L.A. and she told Scorsese I was Sarah's cousin, and he said he saw the family resemblance, which was kind of cool. She's probably one of the least ugly people in our family. And then earlier than that, in 1997, I was in Amistad, and Spielberg fired me right on set, which was
Fired you?
Yeah, I got to stand near Matthew McConaughey when he was changing. I'm sorry about that. I was changing. What can I say? We were all changing, but changing from 20th century to 19th century garb, and it was kind of interesting.
Yeah, no, that sounds like a lot of
We
fun.
weren't. Let me clarify that. We weren't in a locker room. Everything we wore. We didn't have to uncut. We didn't have to reveal any skin in order to change costumes. We were all. It was the wardrobe was set for us, and we just really literally
Right.
covered our 20th century clothes with 19th century clothes, and that's basically how it went down.
Well, I did one over the summer in August, and it was a winter scene in a movie called About Fate, and I was a doorman.
Okay.
And so it was 90 degrees out in
Where was this?
Norwood.
Where'd you shoot this?
In Norwood, Mass.
Oh, okay.
And, it was 90 degrees out. It was an August night.
Okay.
And they had me in a wool coat and a wool scully cap and a full doorman's outfit, and for about 5 hours. And honestly, I believe I should have gotten stunt pay for that, but that was just background.
Okay. Have you ever done a commercial?
I've not.
Okay.
I've not.
I would think. I mean, I can see you doing is a soap.
A soap?
Absolutely.
I'll do a body soap.
No, I mean a body soap. I mean a soap
Irish
opera.
Spring. Oh, a soap opera.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like One Life to Live, if they still do that show. I don't even know.
I don't
The
even
Days of Our Lives. They do. One of them went off the air, one of them is still going on at General Hospital. I'm not sure. Guiding Light, maybe. You know what I mean? Those afternoon soaps. I can see you doing something.
Here's the terrible thing is, honestly, I don't know who many of the actors and actresses are.
Me either.
I don't watch as much TV as you think somebody
No, I don't
that's
either.
interested in the industry.
All I watch is 2.5 Men at night because it's funny. They have the hot girls on, and it's totally crude, which I enjoy.
That is a funny show.
It is.
Charlie
Yeah,
Sheen's a
there
funny show.
had to be somebody out there that thought it was funny, like as much as I do. And I guess you're one of those people.
No, well, it's great though. Somebody like Charlie Sheen, he comes from a tough background, much like myself, and
Okay.
they aspire to the top with, but fortunately, some of his demons came back to haunt him. I hope that never happens to me.
Well, he's okay now.
Yeah.
He seems to be. A lot of people thought he wouldn't even be around anymore by now, but he's doing all right.
No, he comes from a strong family of actors
Right.
in the industry. So
Now, you say you have kids, right?
I do.
All right. Did they do acting at all?
Only my son got involved in it, but he's more into his studies. He's only a sophomore right now.
In high school or college?
In high school.
Okay.
So he's only a sophomore right now, so that has to be his priority. But he get to work on, now I got to remember the name. He's been in a couple of films
Cool.
already, though, and he enjoys it. So he'd like to get back to it, but at this point, it's only when the summertime happens.
Right. And obviously, that's not happening for a while.
Well, because you have to give up a full day. When you commit to working
Oh,
on
yeah.
a set, your whole day is done.
It's true.
You don't know when you're coming.
And plus,
home.
if you got more roles coming out, you may come back. They may call you for a whole week. You may have more time than jury duty if you're getting called on to a set. As I was when I was doing Shutter Island. I
Right.
got a couple of days, and you never know how long they're going to keep you on there.
No, you don't, and you don't know when you're coming home. And I think that's the hardest part about doing it is you can't really tell people what time you're going to be back. You can't necessarily make calls while you're there and update them. And the sets are pretty privatized. They don't want the phones out.
Oh, I know.
And it's a lot harder than it used to be now too, especially with COVID, because Now it's tougher to commit to a film shoot because, first off, you got to take a COVID test beforehand.
Yeah, that's right.
Every 48 hours. So it's difficult. It's not like the old days where they just call you and you only got to commit for a day. Now you have to commit for several days. One COVID test 48 hours before a fitting, and then another COVID test 48 hours before the film shoot, and then if they need you subsequent day, it's always 48 hours. So if that film, I live in Plymouth,
Right.
and if that film is shooting out in Devons, that's 3 hours round trip.
At
And
least.
that's not even working on the set.
Right. That's
And,
not right. It's travel time. They don't even pay you for that either.
Right. So if it's not like a day player role or a stunt contract, a lot of the times doing the background isn't really worth it right now if you don't live close by. You have to really be dedicated, and this is what you want to do, or have another motive for wanting to work on that set.
Right, exactly. So, are there other roles that you turn down because of that sometimes?
Absolutely.
Okay, it sounds like you get a lot of calls.
I used to go to New York all the time. Honestly, I would tell you I could work in New York 4 or 5 days a week if I wanted to.
Wow.
And
Well, all right, let me ask you this: how much time do you? Now, you self-employed with your build? You do building?
I'm an independent consultant. I
Okay.
have contracts, so I am accountable to projects and different people at times.
Right, but not unless you decide what your priorities are week by week, isn't that right?
That's right.
Okay,
That's
so that frees you up for stuff.
It does.
Oh, that's
It
good.
does.
Okay.
I have a lot of flexibility, and so New York used to be a lot easier to work for me before pre-COVID because they would call me and be like, "Hey, can you work tomorrow? Or can you work Thursday?"
Just take the shuttle right down.
And I travel that market anyways for work.
Wow.
So it would be easy to just put myself out there for 2 days, come in the day before, do some business, next day spend on set, and then go out to my next destination. But now I have to go out there on a Tuesday to work on Thursday, and I have to time myself up for 3 to 4 days for
Right.
a 1-day shoot, and that's a lot harder.
Oh, I'm sure it is. Okay. All right. So right now, as of right now, you actually are you any projects going on like within the next couple of weeks?
I don't have anything on my docket for the next couple of weeks, other than just I think I'm actually going to have to focus on my full-time job a
Okay.
little bit. And but I have a couple of auditions, like I told you, the one out in Monterey.
Right.
So
And when are you going out there?
well, I have to
Oh,
get
you do it
selected.
online.
I'm just auditioning at this point. So
Right, I understand. So if you're just auditioning, that's a long trip to just audition and not get the role. So would you do it online and just
Yeah,
send it out
it
to
is.
them?
It's online. It's
Okay.
a self-tape,
Yep.
and they'll get several submissions, and you
Right.
hope you just make the cut. And so that's all I can do is just somewhat pick and choose and make it worth it, and try to shoot in locations. There was another one in Florida today that just grabbed my attention.
Okay.
That was over in Clearwater. So any excuse to go to Clearwater
Anyway,
in the
yeah,
winter
in a
time
warm area, right? Exactly.
is a welcome.
So you never played music or sang or played a guitar or did any of that stuff aside from dancing?
Not
Okay.
that anybody really wants to hear me sing.
No, I understand.
But I sing all the time.
By yourself,
I
right.
have my own like little heart happy songs that
Of course.
I just run around singing, but I don't think it should be publicized.
Well, it's up to you. Probably you never know. You never know what you might be able to accomplish if you're more multifaceted.
I'm a little like Weird Al Yankovic. I just kind of take musical beats and make up my own lyrics.
Well, that might be something worth trying. I always try to think of things that might help the guests, get them more opportunities.
Well, I think just being here, right?
Oh, being here is obvious. You
Being
can't
right
get any
here.
better
I'm
than
on
that.
Topic Time with Harrison
Absolutely.
Blake Young.
Have you speaking of that, have you ever had any other media coverage for your work at all, for your acting?
Not for acting work. I've had a lot of media coverage just around my full-time job in construction.
Well, how do you get media coverage for that?
Oh, well, I was at the forefront of the Green Building Initiative when it first started back in 2007. I was a lead.
What was that exactly?
Well, I was a lead, it's called Lead AP, Leadership in Energy and Environmental Design, accredited professional. So I was part of, back then it was Mayor Menino's Green Building Task Force.
Right.
And they had Green Build Boston, so I was interviewed there. And then the New England Real Estate Journal put me on their show. Yeah, I was interviewed there, and I was also out in North Dakota during the oil boom.
Wow.
Solving a lot of
Why did you?
multifamily
Is that part of your job to go to North Dakota?
Again, I'm an independent consultant,
okay.
so a hedge fund group out of Canada asked me to come out, be part of their group, and went out there, joined all the boards that are linked to my industry, and went very high up. They wrote articles on me. I actually drove the Dakota Access Pipeline. And,
Okay, yeah, I heard about that.
Supplied erosion control out there, and then it all came under controversy because of...
That's something to do with the Native Americans?
That's right.
Yeah.
And it is. It's very interesting out there because There's a lot of oil, and there's two different views on it, and I really don't take or subscribe to either point of view, other than to say, you know, sometimes it's necessary when the price of oil, there's enough oil out there that America can be self-sufficient. At the same time, it is very invasive what they do to that farmland out there to put those oil and pipelines in. If you ever saw it firsthand,
Yeah.
you'd understand just
Well,
how
I've seen
invasive
pictures.
it
I know
is.
there's quite a few people out there that wish they'd stop it.
You know, but it's I don't know, good or bad. I don't think it's going to stop.
Well, you know what? You know what might help? I don't know if you've ever done a documentary, but that might be, you know, it might be something. And I'm sure there's been documentaries done to death on it, but it might behoove you as someone who's seen it firsthand to maybe, you know, do a little, you know, film clip of yourself, just basically diatribing it a little bit. Just an idea. I don't know.
No, it's even the industry I work in. You know, I work on large construction projects, and you know, some of the contracts we're in. I'll sometimes refer to my industry as a blood sport.
Really?
Like the contracts are predatory, and
Wow.
everything is about timing and schedule and meeting demands, and everybody's friendly. And as the contracts are being negotiated, and once the project starts, it's like the gloves come off in a boxing ring.
What, between the competitors?
Yeah, no, just even between the people working together on the job site. And
Okay, wow.
it's
Total blue collar stuff.
very interesting, very high energy work.
Okay, well, guess what? We're down to the final 5 minutes of the show.
Excellent.
Willie
Thank you
just
for having
informed
me.
me. So, yeah, thank you. So what I want you to do, like I told you at the beginning, is look at the camera straight ahead and just give shouts out to the people. They're going to see it, just condense them, and then we'll wrap the show up the way we began it with my music.
Well, the first shout out, Harrison Blake Young. Thank you very much for having me, and
I hope you
congrats
had fun.
on your 11th year anniversary
Thank
of
you,
doing the
Ed.
show.
Yep, thank you.
And congratulations to my family and loved ones and all the people that just support me day to day. My mentors, good and bad, and you all know who you are. And of course, my sunshine, and you know who you are. And that's it. Thank you.
Okay, I
It's a
say
blessing to be here.
Stevie Wonder, but we know that's not who it is.
We know that's what it is.
Well, listen, if you had a good time with me, what I want you, if you
I
don't
did.
mind, is to pass the word about Topic Time to other people that are in the acting industry. I don't know if I can get Ryan Reynolds on or Mark Wahlberg, but anyone that you've worked with that has, you know, an interesting story to tell or a demo reel, I'd love to get them in here or one of my other locations to interview them. You got my digits, have them text me, call me, you know, and
Absolutely.
get a lot of guests that way.
No, it's a lot of fun.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Well, great job.
It was great working
Chris
with you.
Alexander. All right, you ready to wrap it up the way we began it?
I am.
All right,
Let's
folks.
go.
Thanks for watching Topic Time. See you next time at possibly a different location. Wherever we do it, it'll be great. So take care. Have a good one. Bye-bye.